I've worked the late shift at the cafe on Route 17 for 3 years. Long enough to memorize orders, faces, and the quiet loneliness that comes with watching people pass through your life like headlights in the dark. And then there was her. Lena came in every Thursday at exactly 8:15 p.m. Black coffee, no sugar, always a paperback tucked under her arm. She'd sit by the window, pretending to read, but mostly staring at the highway like she was waiting for something or someone to change direction. We started with small talk, weather, traffic, the terrible country playlist my boss refused to update, then jokes. She had this dry, effortless humor that caught me off guard every time. One night, after a long shift and too much caffeine in my system, I leaned against her table and said, "You ever think about just getting in the car and driving? No plan, just go?" She looked up slowly. "Every day." I laughed. "Well, if you ever need a co-pilot for that dramatic escape, I make a mean gas station playlist." I meant it as a joke. She closed her book. "Okay," she said. "Okay, what?" "Let's go." I blinked. "You're kidding." She stood up, grabbed her bag, and placed a 20 on the table. "I have 3 days off. You just said you hate it here, so either we keep talking about leaving, or we leave." My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear the espresso machine behind me. This was reckless, stupid, completely unlike me. And maybe that was the point. An hour later, I was in her passenger seat, the cafe shrinking in the rearview mirror. We didn't have a destination, just a full tank of gas and nervous laughter filling the silence. At first, we talked about safe things, music, childhood memories, bad relationships. But somewhere past midnight, under a sky scattered with unfamiliar stars, the walls started coming down. She told me she'd stayed in this town for someone who never chose her. I told her I'd stayed because I was afraid no one ever would. At 2 a.m., we pulled over at a cliff overlooking a sleeping lake. The world felt impossibly wide, and suddenly ours. "You know," she said softly, "if we hate this tomorrow, we can always turn back." I looked at her, wind tugging at her hair, eyes reflecting starlight. "For the first time," I said, "I don't want to." She smiled, not the polite cafe smile, but something warmer, braver. And somewhere between that highway exit and that quiet lake, the joke stopped being a joke. It became the beginning of everything.